Good morning, Colorado. This is Matthew Menza running for Colorado State District 17, and I'm up here on Airborne Address number 6, doing some proficiency flying. But before I get set up to do that, I wanted to talk to you all quickly about SB 163. That's a child school immunization law. So prior to this law, parents had the right to opt out of vaccinations that they didn't want their children to have. And most of the parents I talk to, they vaccinate their children, but sometimes there's maybe, let's say there's 3 vaccinations, X, Y, and Z. Maybe Z they don't want their kid to have this year. Maybe they want to wait for more data to come out on it regarding its safety. Well, this new law that just passed mandates that all children have whatever the state says they need to have in order to go to school, taking away your parental rights, your medical freedom to make that choice for your family. And that is a really big deal. I have a lot of folks in SB 17 and who are calling me and discussing that they've never voted for a guy like me before with an R next to his name, but they're going to do it now because they're really upset that my opponent supported this bill, especially when she said she wouldn't. And this is a really serious issue. This is what I'm talking about, folks. This is what I'm talking about, the Pandora's box of government overregulation. Some government's great, some government's bad. This particular bill took away your choice, your right to make decisions for your family. And the bill was poorly written. It was written, started out talking about warfare in 1777, George Washington, the American Revolution, talked about yellow fever, smallpox, malaria. Then it tried to take all of those little history lessons and weave it into justification for creating this huge bureaucracy. Now we have to track mandate. You have to get a medical provider to opt out if you want to. You have to go find a doctor. Working families have to work their butts off to figure out how to maintain rights. They have to get time out of their schedule, find a doctor to get an exemption. It's really a disaster. It doesn't do anything to help whatever their underlying concern is. Quite frankly, I can tell you there's a lot better ways to improve the education on vaccinations and get more kids vaccinated if that's our goal, but it's not through taking away your rights. You need to be empowered, not the government making all the decisions for you and having all the power, and that's what I'm about. So when it comes to November, you need to think long and hard. We need to think long and hard about who we put into office, who supports our fundamental rights, who can balance safety and health with our personal rights. Quite frankly, as a parent, I would like to maintain the right to know what goes into my body, my child's body, and not the government. I'd like to be able to maintain that decision. And again, most of the parents I talk to are upset about this. They vaccinate their children, but they just want to have the right to decide if they don't want something in there for whatever reason. And that's the choice. It's not about not vaccination. It's about having the option to say no to something that they think might be concern to their child's health. This is fundamental. This is fundamental in our freedoms, and we need to make sure we understand this going forward. Thank you, and I'll talk to you soon.